and he's in this state of trance or possession. And he doesn't really, there's something not right about him, but he still acts normally. Unlike, Lord of the Rings, where the king is, he's physically deformed and aged and can't speak very well and all that kind of stuff. But in Indiana Jones, this kid, this little prince, pretty much acts normal. And the only way he gets knocked out of it is when, little Mighty Mite, burns him with a torch. And then he wakes up. But that's what I'm looking at Paul Ryan, and that's exactly what I think about. All of a sudden, this guy has gone from being a budget hawk to caving in and giving in. He grows a beard. He loves standing next to the president, and he's talking all this smack about, we got to get along to get along. Who the hell are you? Either you are a doppelganger or you're under some kind of spell. I just cannot believe that this guy has made that kind of transformation in such a short period of time. It makes no sense to me, but we'll get into that a little bit more. First, I wanted to bring you back into the Christmas spirit, or the what are they going to call? I don't know what they're going to call it. Celebrating Muhammad's birthday. Well, because they equate, Islam equates Muhammad as being the greatest of prophets as well as the last prophet. Kind of funny, there can never be another prophet after Muhammad. Nope, that's it. But he's the greatest prophet according to them. Not even God's son, but God's prophet. So, but he's going to be given birthday celebration on December 24th from now on. It appears. Christmas Eve is now going to be Mohammed Day, I guess. I don't know what they're going to call it. And I know some of you are thinking, well, it just won't. It won't stick and take off in the United States, Rod. But aha, if you thought that and said that in your head, in your mind, if you uttered anything like that, it won't happen, then might I point out just how wrong you are. Minnesota CBS local. Parents question choice to sing Allahu Akbar at a holiday concert. There's that holiday concert. Now, some parents in the Anoka Hennepin School District in Blaine, Minnesota, are questioning a choir teacher's decision to use a song about Ramadan performed in Arabic at a holiday concert. So now public school kids are learning how to sing in Arabic for Ramadan. Because, hey, now we're supposed to include, hey, this is the holiday season, because now we got, just used to be that, you had Hanukkah and you had Christmas and you had New Year's. And somebody decided, some Black Panther decided, we need to have a made up fake African American holiday that even to this day most African Americans do not celebrate, but all of a sudden we're just supposed to accept it, called Kwanzaa. Africans, where this is supposed to be taken from. Kwanzaa is supposed to be taken from, getting all this information and traditions from Africa. Africans, I know some. They come from places, like Nigeria and Kenya. I've met these people. I've talked to them. And these Africans look at this and they say, what the hell is that? We don't have anything like that in Africa. They're like, we're told that this is African tradition. This is what you do in Africa. They say, no, we don't. We don't even know what this is. So, one, African Americans are being lied to about this whole notion of Kwanzaa. And if you look at it, it's kind of they're kind of stealing from Hanukkah, because it's multiple days, blah, 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 that kind of thing. You light a candle, and Africans are like, we don't do that. Okay. Well, I'm going to believe you because you actually come from that country or that area of the world, and so I would assume that you would know better than we would. But now we have Kwanzaa. And woe is the white person who tries to deny Kwanzaa. Oh, you racist. And then I get people look at me. I get whites look at me. Well, why don't you celebrate, Rod? Why don't you celebrate Kwanzaa? I mean, it's one of your holidays. You should be, oh, we love Kwanzaa. And I just say, yeah, shut up. It's a made-up holiday that means absolutely nothing to me. It has no real roots on the continent of Africa. It was developed and started by a Black Panther, a terrorist from a terrorist organization back in the 60s and early 70s. I'm not celebrating that because it's stupid. And white people usually get these big, huge eyes when I say Kwanzaa's stupid. They go, as if for somehow, some way, I've just offended them. I don't know how that's possible. But okay. So now we have Kwanzaa. And now we supposedly have all these. Somebody told me there's like 200 holidays that happen around this time of year. I'm like, really? What are all these holidays all of a sudden? I know that there are there's certain pagan holidays and rituals that are around the winter solstice. I understand that, but what are these other things that we're supposed to include all of these in our public schools now? Well, evidently, yes, because now we're supposed to include Ramadan. I don't know, maybe this is a way to appease Islamists from attacking and killing us, I suppose. I don't know, but it's not working. So now we have, in a public school in the state of Minnesota, where they're going to be singing an Arabic song in Arabic for Ramadan at the holiday concert. So at tonight's, Thursday night's concert at Blaine High School, one of the songs students will be singing includes Arabic words, including the phrase Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I always mix that up. Now, of course, that means God is great, but what the thing about Allah is that Allah is not God, and God is not Allah. So God is great has always been, it's a miscommunication. It's not a real translation. Just so people know. Now, Christian and Jewish songs will be performed as well, but the Ramadan song is getting all the attention. Well, of course it is. Now, I guess there's been postings on Facebook and other social media, parents questioning the choice. A parent of a 9th grade Blaine choir student posted the lyrics to the song to the choir has been practicing. When others learned students would be singing the song on Thursday, the comments took a turn. And so, again, one of those silent things. The parents didn't know until one parent luckily found out and then posted it. So the kids are going to be running around singing a song that says Allahu Akbar. Allah is great. Not God. Allah. That's another thing that needs to be corrected. Allahu Akbar means Allah is great, not God. Not God. Because if you say God to a Muslim, he's going to automatically say to you, your God means nothing. They know the difference. Trust me, they know the difference. It's always seems to be the people that want to be more open and accepting and forthright and wonderful and loving and inclusive. They're always the ones that don't get it. Now, sometimes they do get it, but it's just before their head leaves their shoulders. That's when they get it. Well, then it's too late. So these kids are going to be... can I ask this one more time? And, of course, I'm going to reply to myself. Well, of course I can, because it's my show. Why the hell are you people still sending your kids to these public indoctrination centers that we call public schools? And I know I always get the answer that we can't afford private school, and that's when I put up my hand and say, shut up, you lying sack of piece of you-know-what. I call everybody out who says that they cannot afford to send their kid to a private school. I never said they had to send them to one of these exclusive schools, with $15,000, $20,000 a year. No. You can send your kid to smaller private schools or parochial or even Catholic schools, even if you're not Catholic, for $3,000 to $5,000 a year. And I know some people are saying, well, I have 3 kids. How am I going to afford that? Okay, what kind of cars do you have in your driveway? And it's usually the people that say that we can't afford that kind of a bill. They're sitting out in their driveways, brand new Audis, SUVs, and BMWs and Mercedes-Benz, and they're spending $600, $700, $800 a month a piece on a vehicle. And then they live in this great big house. They are house poor because they maxed out to what they could buy, and they're spending another $2,000 a month on a mortgage. And then they want to tell me that they can't afford to send their kid to private school for $3,000 a year. Not going to buy it. If you're riding around in a junker, it's a 15-year-old car with 300,000 miles on it that you're barely able to keep repaired enough to keep it on the road, and you live in a basically a shack apartment that's costing you, like $600 a month because you can't afford anything more, then you can't afford to go. Or send your kids. I get that part. You're living in a mini mansion, a McMansion, driving 2 new luxury vehicles, and you're telling me you can't afford it. Nope, not buying it. You are sending your kids to their own destruction. I'm just telling you. There are a lot of people that take the notion, well, if I can't afford to send them to a private school, you know what? I'm going to homeschool them. There are a lot of homeschooled kids in this country. And oftentimes, the vast majority of them get a better education than they would at a public school. And nationalized, standardized testing and ACT scores prove that. Homeschooled kids are kicking the butts of public school kids when it comes to ACT scores. You got colleges and universities like Harvard who are actively seeking homeschooled kids to attend Harvard. Their reasoning is because homeschool kids are more disciplined, better educated, more well-rounded, and they need less attention from professors. Just saying. The truth is out there, folks. Kind of like the X-Files. X-Files has got they got a new series. Well, they're continuing. On Hulu, I guess it's another 6 or 7 episodes. I think I just saw something about the advertisement for it last night. X-Files. Truth is still out there. It's not... Well, truth is right here, actually. I know they're talking about the supernatural stuff, but I'm not getting into the George Noory realm. Sometimes I've listened to George Noory. What's his program over at? It's the Overnight. I can't remember it right off the top of my head right now, but sometimes listening to his shows, because sometimes I'm driving and it's one of the programs that comes in the best, and I don't want to listen to all the crap music, that they think is music. And I'm not a country music fan, so I can't listen to that, and that's usually very prevalent in New York. So the only thing I got is certain FM stations or AM stations that have, this Overnight with George Noory thing. And sometimes I'm listening to these people, and I'm traveling back and forth, visiting my family in central New York. And I'm thinking, George Noory? How about George Neurotic? These people are nutso. They're some of the some of the wonderful, alien. Maybe that's it. Maybe they are right. Maybe Paul Ryan has been taken over by aliens. That's got to. Maybe our leadership in Washington, D.C., the majority of them have been hypnotized and taken over. Their minds have been taken over by aliens. And I got to tell you, that's a more plausible argument than some of the other stuff I hear coming out of these people's mouths in Washington, D.C., because that stuff doesn't make any sense. believing that they're being taken over by aliens, yeah, that makes more sense now.